Captain Maya Reeves adjusted her civilian clothes as she settled into the corner booth of the upscale Manhattan cafe. Her dark hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, and she wore minimal makeup just enough to blend in with the lunchtime crowd. Nothing about her appearance suggested she was one of the most decorated operators in the Special Forces, currently on an undercover assignment to track a suspected arms dealer who frequented this establishment. Just a regular woman enjoying her coffee, she reminded herself, taking a sip from her cup while discreetly scanning the room. 3 weeks into surveillance, and she was beginning to wonder if their intelligence was flawed. The target hadn't shown his face once. Across the cafe sat Eliza Chen, a striking woman with elegant features who visited almost daily, always sitting at the same table by the window. Maya had noticed her immediately on the first day, not just because of her beauty, but because of the sadness that seemed to linger behind her smile. Today, Eliza wore a blue dress that complemented her slender frame as she typed furiously on her laptop, occasionally pausing to gaze out the window. Maya's earpiece crackled to life. Hawk 1, this is base. Any sign of Markov? She pretended to adjust her earring. Negative base. No activity. The bell above the door chimed, and Maya's attention shifted. Not Markov, but a tall man in an expensive suit who swaggered in like he owned the place. Something about him immediately put her on edge, the way his eyes scanned the room predatorily before landing on Eliza. The man approached Eliza's table with unwarranted confidence. Mind if I join you? A beautiful woman shouldn't sit alone. Maya watched as Eliza's posture stiffened. I'm working, thank you, she replied politely but firmly. The man Maya mentally nicknamed him Suit ignored her response and pulled out a chair. I'm Richard Blackwell. I own the investment firm across the street. Perhaps you've heard of me? I haven't, and I really need to finish this work, Eliza said, her discomfort evident. Richard leaned closer.
Ow! Come on, just 5 minutes of conversation. I'm more interesting than whatever's on that screen.
Maya's jaw tightened. The mission protocol was clear. Maintain cover, avoid engagement with civilians. But something about this man's persistence triggered her protective instincts. Sir, I believe the lady said she's busy, Maya called out, keeping her tone casual but firm. Richard turned, irritation flashing across his face before morphing into appreciation as he took in Maya's appearance. Well, perhaps you'd like some company instead. I'm good, thanks, Maya, replied coolly. Richard's smile faltered. He wasn't used to rejection. 2 beautiful women turning me down in one day? That's a first. His tone had hardened, pride wounded. He turned back to Eliza. You know, playing hard to get isn't as attractive as you think. Maya noticed Eliza's hands trembling slightly. This wasn't just ordinary discomfort, there was fear there. I'm not playing anything, Eliza said quietly. Please leave me alone. Richard placed his hand over Eliza's laptop, preventing her from typing. Just give me your number and I'll go. That was enough. Maya stood, mission protocol be damned. As she approached their table, she caught a glimpse of a familiar face through the window Markov. Her actual target walking toward the cafe entrance. In that split second, Maya had to make a choice. Maintain her cover for the mission, or help a woman clearly in distress. The door began to open as Markov entered, and Richard's hand closed around Eliza's wrist. 2 missions collided in one moment, and Maya knew whatever she did next would change everything. In the neon-drenched city, a secret world operates just beneath the surface. This is the story of Maya, an elite agent whose latest mission takes an unexpected turn. Her target, the notorious arms dealer, Markov, Undercover, a quiet patron at a high-tech cafe, but her surveillance is interrupted. She spots Eliza, a brilliant cybersecurity specialist, being cornered by a man named Richard. His persistence borders on harassment, and Maya's instincts kick in. She decides to intervene. Approaching their table, Maya uses her training to de-escalate the situation with a calm but firm presence. Richard, intimidated, quickly backs off. A relieved Eliza thanks Maya, and an instant connection forms between them. They spend the evening talking, sharing stories and laughter. Maya finds herself drawn to Eliza's intellect and warmth, stark contrast to the cold, calculated world she usually inhabits. This connection is something she hasn't felt in a long time. As their bond deepens over the next few days, Maya struggles to balance her mission with her growing feelings. She knows getting close to Eliza is a risk, both for the mission and for Eliza's safety. But the more she learns about Eliza's own struggles with online harassment, the more protective she feels. One evening, while walking with Elisa, they are suddenly confronted. It's not Markov's men, but Richard, angrier and more aggressive than before. This time, Maya doesn't hold back. The confrontation is swift. She uses her training to neutralize the threat, revealing a glimpse of her true capabilities. Eliza is stunned, realizing there's more to Maya than she ever imagined. As Richard is taken away, the two women stand in the silence, the city lights reflecting in their eyes. The line between Maya's mission and her personal life has just been irrevocably blurred. What happens when a secret agent's heart gets involved? This is just the beginning of their story. See what unfolds next. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Richard lunged forward, his movement clumsy but fueled by wounded pride and alcohol. "Nobody talks to me like that," he growled, reaching for Eliza. Maya reacted with the precision of her years of training. In one fluid motion, she deflected his arm, twisted his wrist, and used his momentum to guide him face first against the cafe window. She applied just enough pressure to immobilize him without causing injury. "Listen carefully," she whispered, her voice calm despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "You're going to walk away and never approach this woman again, not if you understand." Richard nodded frantically. His earlier bravado evaporated. Maya released him, and he stumbled back, eyes wide with shock and fear. "You're crazy," he muttered, but he was already backing away. "Just trained," Maya replied quietly, watching, until he disappeared around a corner. When she turned back to Eliza, she found the woman staring at her with a mixture of gratitude and suspicion. "Where did you learn to do that?" Lisa asked as they began walking. Maya hesitated. "Self-defense classes. Every woman should know how to protect herself." "That wasn't basic self-defense," Elisa countered. "That was professional." They walked in silence for a block, Maya weighing her options. Her training dictated maintaining her cover at all costs. But her instincts told her Eliza was trustworthy, and perceptive enough that a flimsy lie wouldn't satisfy her. "I work in security," Maya finally said, offering a partial truth. "Executive protection, mostly." Eliza seemed to accept this explanation, though Maya sensed she wasn't entirely convinced. As they approached Eliza's apartment building, their conversation shifted to lighter topics, and Maya found herself laughing genuinely for the first time in months. "Would you like to come up for coffee?" Eliza asked when they reached her door. "Yes." "I said thank you for rescuing me." Twice Maya knew she should decline. Getting personally involved with a civilian during an operation violated every protocol. Yet she found herself nodding. Eliza's apartment was warm and inviting, with bookshelves lining the walls and a small balcony overlooking a quiet courtyard. As Eliza prepared coffee, Maya's trained eyes automatically assessed the space exits. Potential weapons, defensible positions, before she caught herself and forced her mind to relax. "So, Maya, the security specialist," Eliza said, handing her a steaming mug. "What's your story? What made you choose such an unusual career?" Maya sipped her coffee, considering how much to reveal. "My father was military. I grew up around it, so it seemed natural to follow a similar path. But not the military itself." "I was for a while," Maya admitted. "Special forces." Eliza's eyes widened. "Wow, that explains a lot. What about you?" Maya asked, eager to shift the focus. "How does someone become a cybersecurity expert?" Eliza smiled, settling beside Maya on the couch. "I've always been good with puzzles. Codes, systems, they make sense to me in a way people sometimes don't." As they talked, Maya felt an unexpected connection forming. Eliza was intelligent, perceptive, and there was a quiet strength about her that Maya admired. Hours passed without either woman noticing, their conversation flowing from childhood memories to favorite books to travel dreams. When Maya's phone buzzed with a message, "Meeting at 0800 tomorrow, updates on Markov," she reluctantly stood to leave. "This was nice," she said, surprised by how much she meant it. "It was," Eliza agreed, walking her to the door. "Maybe we could do it again sometime, without the aggressive men and wrist locks." Maya laughed. "I'd like that." As she turned to go, Eliza caught her hand. "Maya, Thank you. Not just for handling Richard, but for staying. It's been a long time since I've felt comfortable with someone new. Their eyes met. Maya felt something shift between them. A possibility, a connection that transcended their brief acquaintance. Me too, she admitted softly. Walking back to her temporary apartment, Maya knew she was crossing a dangerous line. Personal attachments during an operation were a liability, yet she couldn't bring herself to regret meeting Eliza. What she didn't know was that their lives were about to become entangled in ways neither could have predicted. As her mission and her growing feelings for Eliza collided with devastating consequences. 3 days later, Maya sat in a nondescript van with her team, monitoring surveillance feeds from Markov's hotel. Their intelligence suggested he was planning a major arms deal, but they needed concrete evidence before moving in. "Reeves, you've been distracted, her commander," Jackson observed. "Everything okay with your cover?" Maya nodded, pushing thoughts of Eliza from her mind. They'd met twice more since that first day, once for lunch and once for a walk through Central Park. Each time, Maya had told herself it would be the last, that she needed to focus on the mission. Each time she'd failed to keep that promise to herself. "Cover's solid," she assured Jackson, just anxious to wrap this up. The radio crackled. Target on the move, heading toward the cafe. Maya tensed. The cafe where Eliza would be working, as she was every day at this time. "I'll take the lead," she said, already moving toward the door. "He knows my face the least." Minutes later, she was back in her corner booth, pretending to read while keeping Markov in her peripheral vision. He sat at a table near the window, checking his watch repeatedly, waiting for someone. The bell chimed, and Maya's heart stopped. Eliza walked in, laptop bag over her shoulder, heading for her usual table. Their eyes met briefly, and Maya gave a small smile before returning her attention to her book, hoping Eliza would understand not to acknowledge her further. But as Eliza passed Markov's table, he looked up, and recognition flashed across his face. "Miss Chen," he said, his Russian accent thick. "What a pleasant surprise." Maya froze. How did Markov know Eliza? Eliza stopped, clearly startled. "Mr. Petrov, I didn't expect to see you here." "Please, join me," Markov insisted, pulling out a chair. "We have much to discuss about your company's security proposal." Maya's mind raced. Eliza had mentioned working for a tech company, but she'd never specified which one. Could she unknowingly be involved with Markov's operation? Eliza hesitated, then sat. "I thought our meeting was next week." "Plans change," Markov replied smoothly. "Your encryption system is ready for demonstration?" Maya listened intently, her training allowing her to appear absorbed in her book while catching every word. Eliza was describing an advanced encryption protocol, one that, in the wrong hands, could secure illegal arms deals from government surveillance. "Base, we may have a complication," Maya murmured into her concealed mic. "Markov is meeting with a civilian contact, possible unwitting accomplice." As their conversation continued, Maya's concern grew. Eliza clearly had no idea who she was really dealing with. Believing Markov to be a legitimate businessman, interested in her company's security solutions? When Markov excused himself to take a phone call outside, Maya made her decision. Protocol be damned if she couldn't let Eliza become entangled in this. She slid into the seat across from Eliza. "We need to talk now." Eliza blinked in surprise. "Maya, what's wrong? The man you're meeting with, Petroviz? Not who you think he is." Confusion crossed Eliza's face. "What are you talking about? He's a potential client. He's an arms dealer named Alexei Markov," Maya said urgently. "And I'm not a security consultant. I'm special forces working undercover to build a case against him." Eliza's face drained of color. "That's not possible. My company vetted him thoroughly. He's very good at what he does," Maya said. "But right now, you need to trust me and leave. He'll be back any minute." Eliza stared at her, hurt and confusion warring in her eyes. "You lied to me about everything?" "Not about everything," Maya insisted, reaching for Eliza's hand. "Not about how I feel about you." Before Eliza could respond, Maya's earpiece crackled urgently. "Hawk 1, target is on phone with unknown contact. Mention loose ends and the Chen woman. Possible threat." Extract civilian immediately. Maya's blood ran cold. We need to go now. As they stood to leave, Markov reappeared in the doorway, his eyes narrowing as he took in the scene. Behind him stood Richard, pointing directly at Maya. "That's her," Richard said, his voice carrying across the cafe. "The one I told you about?" In that moment, Maya realized the terrible truth. Richard wasn't just an entitled businessman, he was connected to Markov. And now, both she and Eliza were in grave danger. In the heart of the city, under the neon glare, two worlds collided. One belonged to Captain Maya, a seasoned special forces operator whose life was a tapestry of discipline and danger. The other belonged to Eliza, a brilliant civilian analyst who saw the world in data and patterns. Far removed from the cold steel of a firearm, their paths were never meant to cross, but fate and a notorious arms dealer named Markov had other plans. Markov, a ghost in the intelligence community, had finally made a mistake. Eliza, through her meticulous work, had uncovered a critical piece of his network. But in doing so, she'd painted a target on her own back. That's when Maya's unit was called in. The mission was simple: protect the asset. But from the moment Maya saw Eliza hunched over her keyboard with fierce determination, she knew this was anything but simple. The initial meeting was tense. Maya was all business, her voice low and steady, her eyes constantly scanning for threats. Eliza, though visibly shaken by the sudden upheaval of her life, refused to be just a package to be delivered. She had questions, theories, and a stubborn streak that both frustrated and intrigued Maya. They were polar opposites, a soldier and a scholar, bound by a common threat. The threat wasn't long in coming. Markov's mercenaries tracked them to a supposed safe house. The quiet evening shattered into a symphony of chaos. Glass exploded, alarms blared, and the air filled with the sharp crack of gunfire. Maya became a blur of motion, a shield of trained instinct and lethal precision. She moved with a grace that belied the violence, her every action a calculated step to keep Eliza safe. Amid the pandemonium, Eliza wasn't helpless. She used her knowledge of the building's layout, guiding Maya through a labyrinth of corridors, buying them precious seconds. It was a strange, frantic dance of brains and brawn. In a breathless moment, pinned down behind a concrete pillar, their eyes met. Fear was there, yes, but also a raw, unspoken trust. In that instant, they weren't just a soldier and a civilian, they were a team. Just as they were cornered, the cavalry arrived. The roar of Maya's team's tactical vehicles was the sweetest sound they'd ever heard. The firefight was swift and decisive. Markov's crew was apprehended, and the man himself was finally captured. As the dust settled and the sirens faded, a profound silence fell between Maya and Eliza. The mission was over. The professional line that had defined their relationship was gone. Standing there in the aftermath of the storm, something new began to blossom. A connection forged in fire and tempered by mutual respect. Their story didn't end with the mission's completion. That was just the beginning. Thank you for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time.